Curious thought here. Why in the world are you flying off the handle over winter boots? This was the question I had. And I was wondering, I kept seeing it here and there, people saying, Google this, and I would really only just find winter boots, and then someone said to do it the right way. The issue that I think is being arisen doesn't make sense to me. How do you expect to deal with that in a negative way? If it bothers you so much, then why aren't you opening your doors and your home and your situation to the people that you are saying that you're wanting to protect, but yet you are willing to do something that seemingly you wouldn't want others to do for themselves? I wonder why you're okay with getting cute winter boots for them and for yourself, none. And then saying how you must do these things because of where they're keeping people once they are arrested. You don't mind where the other people go when they're arrested, and to be true, they actually have a much better environment than the other people. And in truth, when I heard that this was happening, Mexico said, we don't want them back. So why is it Mexico doesn't want them back, but now you want to buy them boots? And now you're upset in the way that it's being handled with the laws that you wanted, the laws you instilled, the laws you put out there, the things that you've done. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same party that made the original laws in the first place, that now another party is enacting to protect the people of their states. And in truth, what I've been hearing, and I really don't watch a ton of news, is that a lot of those people that have been arrested for what they've done, the ones that are doing bad things, are being let back out on the streets after they've done things that we know are wrong, things that we have adjudicated for and against. And now you're telling me I must agree with this terminology so that I now feel the same way as you. And when the same country that wanted the flooding in, just like other countries have done before, and other people that they have misled us, technically, without using other words, to believe that certain people were good people, they just needed refuge, and those very people that needed refuge were actually criminals. And so while they were flooding in there, they also were put into these places, yet those places were really, really bad. And in these places, they're getting everything they need, everything they could ever want, and probably stuff they don't have, like PS5s and internet, and not being treated like a vagabond, which is what people in this case are not necessarily. They took the free ride, or they brought people over, and we want to overlook why kids were getting smuggled over before, even though lots of us know why that is true as well. I just don't really understand the concept of knowing someone is doing something bad, getting let out of the same cells that we're putting people that have done the same things that are legal citizens in, and then not letting them out, and even being in scenarios where you have certain past vice presidents who had arrested and put in prison people for doing things that you're legally allowed to do in her state again, and refused to allow any pardons on that, that you're upset and offended and disrespected to such a point that you've now decided, while individual states who are individually have individual laws, and then you have, of course, federal law, that those people aren't allowed to do anything. And then individually, the state itself that individually wants to do something and is using a past law to be able to do such things that was probably appointed by very people you're defending, because you're not really defending the person. You're not defending the situation. You're not out there feeding these people. You're not out there clothing these people. And really, if there was a majority doing that, I'm pretty sure that you would be seeing firsthand what is actually happening instead of something that you were being told. Now, mind you, growing up, to be clear, my parents were landscapers. And I worked with a lot of Hispanic people who were illegal immigrants, who were getting paid money with that I was not. I was doing the same job, and sometimes faster and better, and I was not being paid a dime. They were being paid decent wages, well above other people, and in fact, were being paid wages that were fair to the job that they were doing, if not better. On top of that, the home that I lived in, even though there is a shit ton of other issues, gave furniture, clothes, tools, fed, and helped home. So, what I'm saying to you is, the concept of believing that it's okay to do wrong, to do good, is ridiculous. Protecting yourself is one thing. Giving somebody something that really has nothing to do with shoes to protect themselves against a situation that they chose to be a part of because they chose to come here the way they did. And plenty of other people who have not done that themselves, who are going through the processes of doing what they need to do. Having regular jobs, getting regular pay, getting the same amount of pay as other people. That they are as well frustrated with the same concept. This has nothing to do with a dislike or a hate or a venom against a people. That's just ridiculous. The mongering, the whoremongering, the behavior going on is what's feeding the strife and the anger and the hatred. The fact that you're acting as if they're evil when they're not, yet when they are doing the same things that we consider wrong in this country, we are letting them go and putting them back on the streets. And you are now saying that those individual states, that those people that have moved to those states can't protect themselves, and you are willing to protect someone else who is doing wrong over the people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing, if not more, and wanting them to pay the price for that score makes no sense to me whatsoever. And is pretty selfish at that, indeed. Really selfish. Really gross. Because if you own a company and you're building a company and you're hiring in people, then why aren't you helping them become who they're supposed to be in the state that you live in, instead of allowing them this view that is perfect, all these people hate them. And if they do, that's news to me. And I do know that I am not living like y'all. But the truth is you're expecting people to do what you want them to do, but you're not really doing it yourself. And expecting your neighbor to take care of a mess that they never chose. And now what you're doing to protect that mess instead of fixing it yourself.